All right. We now call the City Council regular meeting to order for February the 9th, 6 p.m. Please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. The invocation will be given by Councilwoman Brittany McGuire.
Pray with me. Dear Lord, we want to thank you for this evening. Thank you for each and every one of us who came out tonight, Lord, as we go through this agenda. Lord, I'm asking you to give us all wisdom as we have to make the decisions, Lord. I'm asking you to keep us all safe and bless us and all of our families and our town. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Be seated. Madam Clerk, if you'll please call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire.
Here.
Councilmember Marquardt.
Yes. Here.
Councilmember Taylor.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Bernard.
Here.
Mayor Anderson.
Here. Thank you very much. First up, we have the fiscal year audit presentation. Danielle, was there something to add before Julie comes up?
No, just Julie's here to
Okay.
present.
All right. As usual, take it away.
Am I good? Thank you. Good evening. I'm Julie Fowler with Clifton Larson Allen here to present the results of your audit for the year ending September 30, 2024. As you know, this was a little delayed in getting wrapped up, but we're really excited to be here to get this one done and then get started on your 25 audit very soon. So if you'll go to the next slide, this is just a reminder that we are not attorneys, we're auditors. We're not giving any legal opinions, and the information I'm presenting tonight is summarized from the complete audit report of the city, which you'll be receiving a copy of. The next slide describes the scope of the procedures that we performed. The primary purpose of our audit was to express an opinion on the city's financial statements, whether they are prepared in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. The report that's included in that full document explains the specific types of procedures that we perform and what the scope of the audit includes. If during the course of the audit we identify areas in the internal control structure that we consider to be weaknesses, areas that can be improved, we do report those. However, we are not performing an audit of the city's internal control, and we don't issue an opinion specifically on the city's internal control. There's also some other letters that we're required to issue under the rules of the Florida Auditor General and under our auditing standards. So we have provided all of those to you. So on the next page, I have a summary of the results of our audit. We have issued an unmodified or a clean audit opinion on the financial statements themselves, which means we believe that the numbers are good. We also issued an opinion that we believe that the city is in compliance with the statute for the investment of public funds. That's statute 218-415. There were 3 internal control recommendations that we reported this year, and all of these can be taken back as the underlying cause to the city's conversion from one accounting software to another. That's a huge lift anytime you make a conversion like that, especially when you've been with the previous software for many, many years. So the first one related to material audit adjustments. When the transition happened, there was some conversion errors. Again, this is common that it happens when you make this kind of conversion of accounting software. And as a result, your staff spent significant time reconciling accounts, getting that cleaned up. But then in the course of the audit, we also identified some additional areas that needed to be adjusted. We believe all of those issues have been worked through, and your staff has a plan to make sure that those are not recurring issues going forward. The second one relates to review of journal entries. This was an area that also changed. The good news is your new software does allow you to capture those approvals within the software itself. So the staff has a plan on how to capture that data and retain it as audit evidence going forward. And the third one relates to the inventory, which is primarily related to public works. This new platform that you have doesn't have an inventory module specifically. And so right now, it's a very manual process. So our recommendation there is to find some software or some other tracking system to be able to more accurately and efficiently capture your inventory. On the next slide, you'll see a summary of our governance communication. This is what's required by the auditing standards. This is explaining more of the course of the audit, the difficulties that we had in the timing of getting things closed out, and that the estimates that are included in the financial statements, which are your pension liability, your OPEB liability, which are all normal parts of preparing your financial statements under generally accepted accounting principles. So that is the conclusion of my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay. Any questions for Julie?
Go ahead, John.
I just have one quick question. When do you normally expect to receive the information from the city to prepare your report, and does it normally come out in January?
Normally, we've been receiving it in January, February, somewhere in that time frame, and it's due to the state by June 30th. That's
Okay.
the statutory deadline.
Okay, so we're in good shape then. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Ms. Julie,
Yes.
if I read correctly, we are without a software for inventory?
Correct. Right now, there's no software that specifically tracks what inventory is being held and, when it's being used and when it's being purchased. That's all having to be done manually.
And what was your suggestion on that we get a software system?
Yes, there are some softwares that are available that you can purchase to do that, or if you wish to continue using a manual system, as long as you have some controls in place, that would be sufficient, but it's definitely a more labor-intensive way to do it.
Well, if I read it right, we really don't have any control in place. Is that correct?
For the year we audited, that is correct. There weren't good controls in place.
Okay, and what were you told why we don't have a software inventory system? What was the reason?
The new software that the city is using for accounting does not have a separate inventory module.
And how long have we been without a software inventory system? Did you find out?
That went into effect during fiscal year '24.
We got the new software.
Correct.
Anything else? Seeing none. Julie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have the consent agenda. This will be for items 6 and 7. Does any council member wish to remove either one of these items? Seeing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve C 6 and 7.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Last call for questions. Seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire?
Yes.
Councilmember McCare?
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard?
Yes.
Mayor Anderson?
Yes. Thank you. Item number 8, this will be resolution 2026-04.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of Avon Park authorizing the selection of a contractor for the fire station restroom renovation project, authorizing a budget adjustment from their infrastructure fund, and authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with the OGG Construction.
Okay, we have the bid there. We have the recommended as AUG Construction. Is there any questions or anything to add?
The only question I have is from start to finish. Do you know how long they're estimating this will take?
Yeah, some are saying 3 months, some are saying 6.
Okay.
So 4 to 5, I would say.
Okay.
Good estimate.
Any other questions? Seeing none, we'll be looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve item D8 for AUG Construction in the amount of $132,675.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Last call for questions. Seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire?
Yes.
Councilmember McCare?
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard?
Yes.
Mayor Anderson?
Yes. Item number 9, we have the medical director agreement.
I'm sorry, I apologize. Can I go back? I just had one question about the fire. Is this just an extension, like a larger, you're making the bathroom larger, or you're making another one?
So we're taking one large bathroom. This building was built 48 years ago, and it has one large communal bathroom.
Oh.
And we have our first female, so we're dividing that bathroom into two. So each bathroom will have its own toilet, sink, changing area, and shower that you can go in and lock. Right now, the doors aren't lockable at all.
Any other questions?
No, that's all.
Item number 9, the medical director agreement.
Chief.
Oh, sorry.
You want to give us an overview of,
Okay.
It was the bathroom, huh? The larger bathroom.
Sorry. So we've had this medical director in place for years. We switched to ALS in 2024. We had Geldart, who was our medical director. That contract was approved for $6,000. This is the same contract. We just added a little language to get some oversight from the medical director. He's going to give us 10 hours, I think it is, a year. Same amount, though. It's just a new contract with a new medical director because Geldart passed away.
okay, any other questions? Are you looking for a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve D9, the medical director agreement with Dr. Pigman.
I'll second, please.
We have a motion, we have a second. Please call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire?
Yes.
Councilmember Merker?
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard?
Yes.
Mayor Anderson?
Yes.
So is Dr. Pigman associated still with Advent Health, or is he kind of on his own type?
I don't know if he's with Advent Health. I don't really know.
Okay.
Mayor, I have a question for Chief. Chief, how was Dr. Pittman chosen? How was he chosen?
So we have a COPCN, which is a long-term for basically a medical necessity need that the county oversees. So the state delegates each county with transporting patients, and that county makes the rules for how we operate underneath them. So the county, when they created these COPCN rules, they created the rule that we have to use the same medical director as them. So they're the one that started this whole search and chose Pigman. We had a little bit of input, but basically it comes down to the fact that Pigman knows a lot about rural communities. Instead of picking a medical director out of like Orlando that might not operate like we do here. Now we're slightly different than some of the places in the county, but the county operates transporting from like Venus, where they have a long drive to a hospital. They don't really deal with that in places like Orlando. So Pigman was chosen because of his expertise in rural communities.
And because the county recommended.
Yeah, correct, yes. Yeah, we didn't really have a choice. We have to pick who they pick.
So either we go with him or we just don't go with the service, pretty much.
Correct, yeah, correct. We would have a problem then because we would not have a medical director.
Okay. Any other questions before we move on? Seeing none. Item number 10, Resolution 2026-05.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of Avon Park, Florida, approving a Florida Department of Transportation Public Transportation Grant Agreement Financial Project Number 458-081-1-94-01 for security access control and gate improvements at the Avon Park Executive Airport, authorizing the city manager to execute all associated agreements and documents, providing for implementation, and providing for an effective date.
Hello,
Gary
so,
Griffiths.
yeah, so we were able to get the Precision Gate and Security Incorporated, their proposal that provided access control and motorized the gates, as well as our pedestrian access, and there's a door that goes to the pilot's lounge. So all that will have the information as far as any kind of data or transponders. We'll know who comes in and out of the gates. We'll be secure. This is a 100% funded agreement. This is what I brought at one of the council meetings. At the end of the council meeting, I spoke about this. So I reached out because it was in our plan for the security improvements that was already approved in the past prior to FAM taking everything on. We were able to establish that. They were able to pull a smaller portion of it out, and we're able to get the agreement to where it would be fully funded by FDOT. So this is what's in front. Matt looked at all the software and everything. There will not be any like some of the other companies that we looked at required cellular usage instead of being like on our own, I guess, server type of deal. And so this will work out really good for us. We won't have the large recurring monthly expenditures, and it'll help us out with our budgeting at the airport. So
Yeah, it's huge. I appreciate all your legwork on trying to pull this together, and it'll go a long way to the quality of life of people that have to work out there every day and go in and out of those gates. All right, any other questions on?
I do. I have a question on, so part 8, you said fencing. So this 56,000 includes the repairs to the fence also?
yeah, the gates are there. They just the motors to operate them. They aren't active, so they will then be active within the pedestals. The associated, all the equipment associated will taken care of.
So the fencing, though, not necessarily the gates or the equipment, but it has the fencing, are there holes in that?
No,
Yeah,
this is
the
going to be a
perimeter.
separate, we're going to get into that in another item, but we'll be addressing that later on. But this is just for the gates themselves, the pedestrian and the driver, not the pilot's lounge, sorry.
Any other questions on resolution 2026-05?
No, sir.
Is the pilot's lounge, this isn't related to, but is the pilot's lounge under, does it have its own security camera inside the pilot's lounge, or is that something that's private?
No, it's none in there. It's on the outside, it's in the lobby, and we have some around the building. We're still kind of working through that, but it does have a keypad to get in and out, so we'd end up seeing somebody if they were there, because they would have to get past the cameras that we have outside to get into that area.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
All right, do we have a motion for resolution 2026-05?
So move.
I'll second.
Is a motion to approve, just to clarify? Jim, is that a motion to approve?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion to approve and a second. Please call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire?
Yes.
Councilmember McCurr?
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard?
Yes.
Mayor Anderson?
Yes. Item number 11, we have the Cummins Master Lift Station and Rainbow Lift Station turnkey rehabilitations. Mr. King?
Yeah, so this is 2 lift stations in your system that's in dire need of repair. One of them sits at the corner of Williams Gray Court and Rainbow. They call it the Rainbow Station, number 16. And then the other one is at 1440 Cummins Avenue. Yeah, this rehab, if you look through here, it's to replace the piping, the rails, and the coating. The Cummins station, I went out there and looked at them today. It's severely deteriorated with hydrogen sulfide gas. It's eating it up. So they're both in dire need of rehab. Basically, right now with the condition of the piping, it would be a act of Congress to bypass those stations in an emergency. They're in bad shape.
And once they're rehabbed, what's the general life of them?
Yeah, lifespan. I know the Cummings station actually has a scrubber on it, so you're looking at 20, 25, 30 years.
Excellent.
So, Mr. King, as you look at them, how long it's been, I don't know how long you've been in this field, and estimate how long it's been. How long you say it's been since they've been replaced?
I'm not exactly sure exactly when these were put into place, but I would say they probably date back to the 80s. If my assessment, that's the construction technique and everything that's there, I'd say 80s. Maybe early 90s.
And right now, they're functioning on a what percentage?
They're functional in that they're able to move sewer right now, but the check valves, they're not as efficient as they could be, and obviously the valves for the bypass and everything are so deteriorated that it'd be almost impossible to hook up a bypass to them like you would do in an emergency situation. We'd have to throw a pump in there and then actually run pipe down the road probably to a manhole to move sewer from those stations. And it's nothing that's uncommon. I mean, there's a lot of them that are I've seen that are this bad. But this upgrade will get that piping above grade, because that's the other thing is in Florida it's not necessary to have all that in a vault where it gets deteriorated. That's what causes the issues.
Okay. And Mr. King, my next question is it causing any type of backup or in the different areas where they're located?
No, not at this time, but
Not-
I can tell you those pipes are deteriorated to the point in the well that, you know, what happens is it basically, it'll collapse and then the pumps will just run and the sewer won't move out. I don't know how far away you're from that, but you're close. They're in bad shape.
So another 25 years, they should be replaced? 25 years? Estimate?
Maybe not, because maybe even longer, because we're gonna remove that steel pipe that's in those wells. We're gonna change it out with HDPE plastic, which should last forever, hopefully. So those upgrades should extend the life of both these stations for an even longer term to be determined.
Thank you.
You said that, what kind of pipe is that?
HDPE, it's a plastic.
So is it different than PVC? Please, I
Yeah,
don't
no,
know.
it's
I'm
like
not in that field.
Yeah, it's like a super duper PVC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So, Mr. King, last question. Material has changed over the years, and therefore you're using different materials that they would have used back in the 80s, and the reason why you're saying it would last longer is for that reason?
Yeah. So yeah, they back in the 80s, 90s, they all and some people still say that steel pipes are okay because of the coating, but the coating's only as good as the people applying it, and if it's not taken care of or maintained, it'll rot. Just like cast iron pipes in your house. I'm one of those folks that bought a house and got cast iron pipes when
I was one.
yeah, we should have had PVC, right? So we live and we learn. We're doing the same thing here in the system.
Any other questions? Be looking for a motion to approve item D11 for the proposal from Max Environmental for $52,235 and $132,238.
So move.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire?
Yes.
Councilmember Marker?
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor?
Yes?
Councilmember, or Deputy Mayor Bernard?
Yes.
Mayor Anderson?
Yes. Item number 12, we have the fire inspector paramedic job description. Ms. Coger.
Yes, back in the start of the fiscal year, council approved, I believe it was 5 slots for paramedic stipend as we're moving towards the ALS support. And we changed job descriptions on captain, lieutenant, firefighter. At the time, we had an active fire inspector who was not a paramedic. But now that we have that position open, in talking with chief, we would like to add the paramedic piece to that role as well. It will not inflate the budget that's been approved because they haven't filled all 5 slots yet, and we're already almost halfway through this fiscal year.
So when they do go to fill the slot, there's not someone currently in that spot. I'm assuming that the pay will be higher than what it was originally advertised at.
It'll be that $8,000 stipend
Okay,
for the year on top of the normal fire inspector pay.
got it. And do we have anybody in mind that might want to fill that?
We have an internal possible transfer.
Okay.
That's already a paramedic that's looking to move into that role.
Awesome.
So I have a question for Chief. Chief,
Yes,
you the inspector for the city of Avon Park, right?
I am right now, yes.
Are you the only one?
We have another certified inspector, but he's on shift. It's a little harder when you're on shift, just because you're here on a Wednesday, and then the next day he works is a Saturday, then he doesn't come back till a Tuesday. So it's a little harder when you're on shift, but he helps a little
A
bit.
little
But
harder than what you're not on the shift, right?
well, it's just harder for the person. You know, if they want to schedule something, his shift rotates.
Okay, so you're asking for 3 inspectors now?
No, we're asking for
I'm
one. We've had one for years.
No, I mean, you are an inspector, right?
Oh, correct, yeah, but I'm not getting any higher pay than my normal job for it.
No, I'm just looking at the inspectors period for the city of Avon Park. So you are an inspector, right?
Correct,
And then we already have one that's on the shift.
correct.
And so this position here, you asking that we get another one, right? Am I
Well, I'm
right?
asking for a full-time inspector.
Full-time inspector.
Yeah.
So the
The-
one that's on the shift, he's not full-time.
No, he gets paid nothing to be an inspector. He gets no extra, no nothing, so he doesn't really do it, he just helps me. If I say, help me look at this building and and read these prints or something, he will help, but he would get nothing to do it. So all the other people, get their pay. He helps me do inspections and get no extra pay to do that.
Why is that?
Well, because we don't have a position for that. We have a fire inspector position, which we're attempting to fill. Correct, yeah. Clint is the other one. The one that wants to do it right now is Jonathan Pravat.
Okay. So this, the one you're asking for now, this would be the full-time one.
Correct.
So what's his name? So when Clint go out, he goes out with you?
No, he rarely goes out.
Or he rarely goes out?
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't really done a whole lot. He has probably helped me 4 hours in the past 4 or 5 months.
Okay, so help me out with that. If he rarely goes out, then why is he carrying the title? Why, I mean.
Well, it's a certification you get through the state. And then you can do so many hours a year to maintain that, and that's what he's done.
Okay.
He just maintains the hours, but he's not,
And it
like if
doesn't
somebody
matter
calls
'cause
up and
we're
asks for the inspector, I'm not giving them his name.
Okay.
They get me.
And it doesn't matter because we're not paying him?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Anything else on the job description? Seeing none, be looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve D12, the fire inspector paramedic job description.
I'll second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Please call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire?
Yes.
Councilmember McCure? Councilmember Taylor?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard?
Yes.
Mayor Anderson?
Yes. All right, item number 13, we have resolution 2026-06.
A resolution of the City of Avon Park, Florida, approving funding support for a pro watercross event to be held at Lake Verona in August 2026, authorizing the use and transfer of funds, providing for conflicts, providing for stability, and providing for an effective date.
Jason?
Okay, so there's some update to this. Speaking to Casey Hart down at the TDC, she will, the TDC is going to fund this. So there's going to be it's a 3-year agreement. They're going to try to come up with the person that runs the event. But this will be a county, basically a county city collaboration. So it's our event, and we would just provide basic services such as trash collection, providing garbage cans, setting up any cones. It doesn't have any road closure or anything like that. Just basic assistance with the event. So it's minimal. We won't have to pay the $10,000 that we originally was being requested. So I think it works out really good for us because, as I stated, there is some benefit to the hotel around here, and I'm sure they have $4,500 was the estimate when I spoke with David over in the Jacaranda. And then the additional restaurants, I'm sure they get some. We're getting more restaurants here now, so we can, I think there'll be some impact. Maybe it builds on last year's program, and it works out well for good weekend recreation activity for Avon Park residents to watch and visitors.
Okay.
So we're basically, if you're good with the event moving forward, this is a city event. It's going to be city/county. Then we're fine. We can just kind of strike this off. We don't need any resolution for funding on this. We don't need that. Just that if you all are good with that, what I just described, then we can move forward as is.
So we don't need to actually vote on a resolution?
No, not just, we're moving forward with the event because
Okay.
we're not providing any funding for it. This is
Do we need
just
a
gonna be
motion
an
to move
event.
forward with the event?
I have a question, Jason.
Yes.
Why did the
Would we
TDC
need a
decide to
motion?
fund it?
I think because they went to multiple years, but also I think they felt a little bit of the reluctance from
They just want a
us
resolution.
to take place and, take part in it because of our funding issue. We didn't budget for it. It wasn't in place, and it was somewhat of a hardship on us, and it was relayed that way, and worked out well. So I think it worked out good for us.
So the only thing we really have to provide is if we was having a regular event on Main Street.
Yes, ma'am.
The employees set up, road closed and all that.
Yeah, I could probably provide maybe 1 to 2 employees out there, and then get the business owners involved. Just make it a good thing for everybody along. Maybe do some, swag bags or something along those lines. I think it'd work out good for Main Street.
Are they going to bring the event request to us a little bit later?
It's our event. It's our event, and we're partnering.
Yeah.
It's our
Oh,
own,
I
so
see.
we
I
don't.
see.
That's what we're giving a thumbs up now. Works out well for us,
Sure.
and we're fine.
I'll make a motion that we go ahead with the Pro Watercross event as described with no cost. The TDC will be covering 100% of it.
Second?
We have a motion. We have a second. Any other questions? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire?
Yes.
Councilmember McCur?
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard?
Yes.
Mayor Anderson?
Yes. And thank you to the TDC for doing that.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Item number 14, we have the Kimley Horn IPO number 7, Phase 1. This will be the perimeter fence.
Jerry, you have a lead-in, or
For the perimeter fence.
you good? Okay. I'll read this off for everyone. This is for Phase 1 perimeter fence plan revisions and grant. This will be for us to enter back into what we were previously approved by FDOT prior to us going into the AIPP with FAM. Because we were going that route, FDOT decided not to give us that grant, but now that we're back and it's in our hands, then they are open to it and are looking forward to partnering with the city and getting the security improvements taken care of. So let's go over it. Kimley Horn was hired by the city of Avon Park in 2023 to design perimeter fence and security improvements for the north portion of the airport, including about 13,000 linear feet of AOA fencing, gate and access control upgrades, which that will be removed, by the way, because we're doing that already. That's what I was talking about earlier. A CCTV system and a rotating beacon replacement specification. The design also addressed FDOT runway object-free area deficiencies. Final plans were completed in December 2023 and advertised for bid in January 2024, but the project was not awarded due to lack of FDOT construction funding. That's where they pulled it. The city asked Kimley Horn to revise the plans and adjust the fence alignment, remove ornamental materials, and provide grant support services to help secure construction funding. The total project is estimated to be over $3 million. This isn't what I'm asking for this particular item. It's the design has already been done, but this is the cost of the project that they will be submitting the design back to FDOT. Initial funding provided by FDOT included design of the project, but we are now making minor adjustments to the design based on operational needs. The proposal includes grant assistance at established hourly rates in the master agreement with Kimley Horn. Funding for the project will come out of the airport fund professional fees line 402-0542-542-31-00. The cost of the professional services is paid up front by the city, and the city will seek reimbursement by FDOT. IPO number 7, without grant assistance, costs $19,700. The total cost of IPO 7 with grant assistance is expected to exceed $25,000. We could have went in and just approved it because it was within my spending threshold. However, since I know with the grant assistance and what has been stated by our airport advisory board and council to utilize engineering for our grant assistance, that's the route we're going. So I expect that to go over, but we are to go over the $25,000, but we'll get reimbursed for these amounts. I'm just asking if you to approve this.
Okay. Any questions? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve D14 Kimley Horn IPO number 7, Phase 1 perimeter fence plan revisions and grant assistance.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Last call for questions. Seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire?
Yes.
Councilmember McCur?
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard?
Yes.
Mayor Anderson.
Yes.
No me cuelgues, mami, ¿dónde estás?
Okay. All right, item number 15, be the Schutz and Bowen LLP agreement.
Yeah. So we have Ellie on Zoom, and this was the agreement we talked about. Schutz and Bowen is back in front of you all now. The agreement is in its full form, so it's in front of you now to discuss what you would like to do. And any in particular, is Ellie's available to provide any comment from Brian Miller Oliver.
Is Schutz and Bowens on?
This is it. Schutz and Sidney Calloway was supposed to be on as well. I thought he was gonna. He said he was coming to the meeting, but I didn't see him.
He intended to, but I do not see him on by Zoom either.
Okay.
If I could just call your attention to two provisions of the contract with blanks to be filled in with contact information. There's paragraph 12 and then paragraph 15. Paragraph 12 is who the notices, any notices given under the contract, who they should be given to on behalf of the city. And then the other one, 15, is the point of contact, who would be the law firm's point of contact with regard to the litigation. And those are blanks that we have left because of the discussion that took place at the last council meeting, where still waiting for more direction on how that those two provisions should be completed. My recommendation is that it would be the city manager, because that is how the day-to-day litigation guidance, direction is routinely done. I don't believe it would be practical to have any member of the council in that role for reasons of sunshine law, attorney-client privilege issues, and also the frequency with which council does need to get direction from the city in litigation. The timing of it often does require responses more frequent or sooner than the next city council meeting. So that is how it is usually done, and I do believe that there's some legal concerns with having a city council member in that role. So that would be my recommendation for paragraphs 12 and 15 to fill in those blanks.
Okay.
I'm sorry, can I get her to introduce herself, because I'm not sure who's talking.
Ellie Nyberger from Bryant, Miller, and Olive, correct?
Correct. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions or a motion?
Since we're back on this, and since this has been placed back on the agenda, I want to get a better understanding of what happened in the last meeting. And I got some questions for Mr. Burr. Mr. Burr, did you consult with Mr. Bernard regarding to his abstain vote before February the 2nd, which was the last meeting?
I spoke with Mr. Bernard. I don't know if I would call it consult, but he told me of his possible vote. I speak to commissioners all the time.
Okay, you do, because I've spoken to you before. So my next question, Mr. Burr, do you know if his abstain was due to a conflict of interest, or was it had anything to do with financial connection due to his abstaining?
I don't know.
Did you ask him?
No,
Okay.
and it's not my job to try and figure out his ethics with regard to decisions he makes.
Okay.
I just told him that he needed to make certain that he felt that that was the decision he needed to make with regard to his ethics.
Okay, and Mr. Burr, why did you disclose to this council in this meeting on February the 2nd, which was our last meeting, that you knew that the count was going to be a 3 abstain vote? Why did you make that statement?
Why did I make that statement? Because I knew.
Because he told you?
Well, no, he told me there might be a case, and so I figured there was a possibility. Therefore, I felt like it needed to be addressed.
Okay.
Because it comes up at the meeting and nobody knows what to do. It would not be a happy event.
Okay. Have you since talked to Mr. Bernard since his abstaining?
I don't recall.
Okay.
That's a,
And Mr. Burr, you also told this council that you would have to do some research on the abstain, because I asked, what do we do now? You know, we had 3 abstain
No,
votes, and
I
you said.
didn't tell you that. I'm not doing any research on it because Ellie Nyberger is the attorney
You didn't tell
you
us that-
selected.
You didn't
I
tell
said
us-
I did some originally, but I said I did not do that because you're not going to listen to what I have to say anyway, since you don't want me here anyway. So I called Ellie Nyberger and said, this is a matter you need to take up and consider so that they have an answer for it.
Okay, my next question, Mr. Burr. Did you consult with the firm Bryant, Mill and Olive regarding the agreement about Schultz and Bowen? Did you consult with them?
I don't
About
remember
the
consulting.
agreement?
I don't remember consulting them.
If I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. Either the week leading up to or the day of, and that was the reason why the agreement was pulled off the agenda? Well,
I
maybe you can tell me the reason why
I can't tell you why it was taken
Well,
off the agenda, other than the fact that that question couldn't be resolved with regard to whether the vote would be legal at with just 2 people voting. But I don't recall discussing the agreement with them.
I can provide that if you would like,
Yes,
Councilwoman.
please.
It was pulled because there was not an agreement in place, and there were issues that we didn't agree upon with Ellie Nyberger from BMO and Sidney Callaway from Schutz and Bowen. So there were some issues there that we wanted to get ironed out. And ultimately, and I spoke about the indemnification that was worked out in between Sidney and Ellie, and that's why it came back. But where those 2 were behind the agreement, and that's why it's in front. And on the attorney review, that's where it says, yes, Ellie Nyberger, BMO.
Okay. And Mr. Burr, when
By the way, it's Buer.
Buer.
I've been
I'm
here
sorry,
a long time.
Mr. Buer.
And you still haven't gotten it right.
Buer. Well, I'm just gonna call you Jerry. That way I won't mess it up, okay?
Okay.
I was trying to get some respect here, but
Well,
with that
so am I.
with that being said, when you have to notify other firms in regards to city business, do you have to get permission from the council to do that, or the city manager?
I don't understand what your question is. You mean talk to another
let's
talk
use-
to another law firm?
Yes, about
No,
about city business, like, you know,
If they've been engaged as your attorney, then I feel like I can talk to them. Yes.
I agree. And so I guess the reason why I'm bringing all these questions up, I'm a little confused about the agreement was put on the table and then it was taken off. We voted on it. There was 3 abstained votes and we couldn't go no farther with it. Here's the part I'm confused on. I'm confused that they won the bid. After they won the bid, me and Shelley voted and they won the bid. And so, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Jerry. They got the bid because it was voted by this council, majority vote. Me and Shelley was 2, Jim was 1, and the other 2 abstained their vote. So they got the bid. I couldn't understand why the agreement had to come back to the table to be discussed. Isn't at that point, if they was awarded the bid, wasn't it your responsibility and the city manager responsibility to work it out? It didn't have to come
No.
back to this board.
No.
It came back to this board for what reason?
You made it very clear you don't want me involved in this
Nope.
matter whatsoever.
Jerry,
You
Mr.
you
Jerry,
hired
if you
hired
can-
Ellie Nyberger for that reason, so that's the person that you need to speak with regard to that issue.
Okay,
So,
Ms. Elliott?
yeah, I can provide an answer to that. So, when there was an engagement letter, kind of like how we do notice to proceed, you know, how to authorize the city manager to enter and say, and if that's not stated, then we end up coming back with an agreement at a later time. So this is just basically like a notice to proceed, the engagement letter, but it was written from Sydney's review. It's a point for Sydney's review. Now, when I looked at it, I said, well, there were some things I wasn't quite concerned. I was concerned with the indemnification. There was also some stronger language to that point. So end up, Brian Mill Olive, when I reached out to them, because at that time, prior to, I didn't really even know who Ellie was. So, because I saw the invoices from Brian Mill Olive, and end up it wasn't until basically that Wednesday night, Thursday, that I was contacting them to try to say, hey, how does this look? Because kind of like you said, hey, the city picked the attorney, and we should just go ahead with the engagement letter. However, they still look after our interest to make sure, Brian Mill Olive, just to make sure that we're not opening ourselves up to any issues with entering into this agreement. And it was just looking after the city's interest, and that's where they're performing that duty, but they're performing that duty instead of Jerry. So when we looked at it, we were trying to work everything out. Maybe and the reason why it stayed on is say, oh, maybe a paragraph is removed, but it was more than a paragraph. There was things back and forth between Sydney, myself, Ellie, and we were kind of talking, in like a triangle in a way. And ultimately, I just didn't feel confident bringing that forward. I didn't want you to be misled on something, or I wanted something clean for everyone to see. So that's the reason. It was an engagement letter, kind of like a notice to proceed. End up those engagement letters, they worked it out and put it into one single agreement, and that's what came before you tonight.
Yeah, after they came to an agreement. So my question is, why did that have to be put on the agenda at the last meeting, and why couldn't it wait till they came to an agreement? And we didn't have to go through all that we went through last week. 2 weeks ago. Why wasn't it put on the agenda after the agreement had been reached, instead of putting it on the agenda and you wasn't even sure where, if you wanted to go with what was being said? That's just, it's still fogging in my mind. I'm just trying to get an explanation on it.
It was from what I understood from you and Shelley and Councilwoman McCurr, that you guys wanted it on, and I didn't want to feel like this, because originally when you asked me how long would it take, and I said 1 to 2 weeks, and you're like 1 to 2 weeks is kind of, and it was the back and forth, so getting the conversation started between them, and I wanted to get it in front of you, but because end up it didn't happen. I made my effort to try to get it in front of you. It didn't happen, but end up it's here now, and that's where we are.
Okay, I have some questions for Mr. Bernard, if you could be so kindly to.
Before you go there, I do want to clarify one other issue. I did speak with Ellie after that meeting with regard to the contract. There was one issue that we were talking about the vote, how that go, and we didn't have any decision on that. The question came up as to whether who should be the person that represents the city, and I did say my opinion was that it shouldn't be a city council member.
Right. So, Mr. Bernard. Yes, sir. Did you seek any legal counsel before the February meeting in regards to your vote to abstain?
You don't need to answer that.
What, you his attorney?
I said you just need to answer what he
Are
said.
you his attorney? Are you representing?
I'm not his attorney.
I can't tell. Because you ain't never sat up here and told me nothing that I shouldn't answer.
I've done it plenty of times.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't. No, you haven't.
All right.
No, you haven't.
Let's see if we can move
So,
on.
Mr. Bernard, let me ask you this. Do you feel that there's a conflict of interest, or you are in some type of financial obligation in regards to the Brickell building, reason why you are abstaining your vote?
I have my own reasons that I've developed in the last month,
Okay, and you filled
and
out
I do
the
not
form-
care to share those with you.
And you filled out Form AB.
Yes, I did.
And what did you put on Form AB?
I think you heard what I said. You want me to repeat it? I said,
The record's available if you
Yeah.
fill one out.
Mr. Jerry, correct me if I'm wrong. Can he abstain a vote if there's no conflict of interest?
I'm not gonna answer that. It's his ethics, and,
No, I'm
No, you-
asking you a question.
I'm not
You,
gonna
the
give you
city
opinion.
attorney, are you not?
no, well, I'm not
You're
gonna
not
give
the
you
city
an opinion on
attorney?
that. I'm not gonna give you an opinion on that. That's regarding that first, his ethics.
I don't,
And
Maybe
I
we
don't-
should ask Ms. Nyberger, because I think she's on. Let's see what her opinion is.
Ms. Nyberger?
Yes, Councilwoman.
The question is, in regards to a particular issue that comes before this council, can a council abstain a vote if it does not have anything to do with conflict of interest, or perhaps they are in some type of financially obligation to that issue?
If I could, I guess, maybe rephrase the question a little bit. I think what you're asking is when's a council member permitted to abstain from voting if they're present at a meeting? What are the situations
Yes,
when that's
ma'am.
allowed? Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. So there are, so as a general rule, a council member is required to vote, and there are exceptions. And those exceptions are if a conflict of interest exists under one of three provisions of the statute in the ethics code. So there are those statutory provisions have a couple of them have different subsections, but the gist of it is there's a voting conflicts provision which deals with a special private gain or loss. And that would be the conflict and that means an economic gain or loss. Then you have the provision that deals with basically doing contractual relationships, business relationships, so doing business with one's own entity, those types of conflicts. And then you have a couple other provisions, such as the one that if there's a misuse of office, if there be a violation of that provision by voting, then you could abstain. So there are a few different situations, but the way that the statute's phrased it is in terms of if there is or could be a conflict of interest under one of these three statutes. So that's how the actual statute is phrased in terms of conflict of interest, if that's the point that you're getting to.
And Mrs. Nyberger, and if that particular council, if none of those fall under that, then can a council abstain a vote?
So it's a conflict under one of those three provisions does not actually have to exist in order for a council member to abstain from voting. It has to be, the Commission on Ethics has explained that it does need to be a good faith belief that by voting on the measure in question, you'd be violating one of these three provisions. So it doesn't actually have to be a conflict. It's goes to the good faith belief of the council member at issue. That's the really real question there.
and Ellie, I believe the Commission on Ethics has at least told me several times that even if it's an appearance of wrongdoing or an appearance of an impropriety, that you can abstain.
So Correct. So the way that the Commission on Ethics opinions do look at whether there's basically a good faith, reasonable, well-founded belief that this could be an actual possible or appearance of one of these three things. So the language is a little bit gives a little bit of wiggle room to leave room for the situations where it hasn't been determined this actual question whether there's an actual conflict. So it does leave some room in that regard. Boils down to basically again, is there a good faith basis in the council member's mind at issue that this has occurred, that there may be a violation of one of these three things.
Understood.
And Ms. Nyberger, and you have made contact with Schultz and Bowen, and we are moving forward, are we not?
With the contract is on the agenda for this evening's meeting for your consideration, if that's what you mean.
And that's what I'm concerned about. If they have been awarded the contract, then Shelley has voted for Schultz and Bowman. What are we discussing? It is now in the hands of the lawyer and the city manager to go forward with it, right? What is the board discussing and voting on tonight?
I believe that is the approval of the contract itself, and I believe that it is on the agenda per your purchasing manual. But why is it on tonight specifically as opposed to the last meeting? Is that what you'd like me to address as part of this as well?
That was a question. Is there an answer, Ms. Bernice?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Oh, sorry, I wasn't. So the first what I was asking is, would you like me to address why is it on the agenda for this particular meeting as opposed to the last meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
That it was pulled?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so for the last meeting, there was the first contact that I had about this was the Friday before the Monday council meeting, and I was at a conference center for meetings and was not able to review, or more importantly, I need to update my conflicts of interest search with my firm before I can even look at a matter. So that was on Friday. I was able to get the conflict of interest check done by my firm's accounting folks late that night. And then when I was back from the conference, which was not until Sunday that I first started to look at the contract. So it was a timing issue. And if there's any anybody who needed additional time, it was because of the situation that I had, where the next day is when I needed to have the discussion with the city manager about my views on the documents that were put together, and then also with Schutz and Bowen about the proposed changes that I was making. So it was pretty condensed timeline, and we did not have the comments from Schutz and Bowen incorporated into what was on the agenda for last meeting. So that is the reason why it was taken off based on my understanding. But factually, that is what occurred from the time that I was asked to review this until Monday, at the Monday of your meeting.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you choose to answer it, you do, and if you don't, that's fine. Do you feel like you abused your power when you signed that deed? You're not going to answer? Okay. So all the other times that you voted for it, don't you feel like that created an ethics violation? Not now? Now you're not going to
Now you're not gonna vote, but all the other times you did.
All right. Anything else? Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion. Sure, it's not gonna go anywhere, but we'll make the motion to approve D15 for Shoots and Bowen to move forward.
And the contact person under 15 and 12?
I don't know, I'm still kind of drawn about that. Ms. Nyberger said it's probably not a good idea to have a council person.
If you'd like me to explain the basis for that, I'm happy to, or if you
Well,
have any.
I understand it's because of the sunshine violations that could
Oh,
occur.
okay.
I get that.
Miss, not to cut you off, Miss Nyberger, I think me and Shelley both understand, the point of contact issue and why it may not, should be, given to a council member. I can't speak of Shelley, but, I don't think that having our city manager or even our attorney, just me personally, I can't speak for Shelley, the information is, gonna be distributed equally and fairly whenever it is distributed, and just being just straight up, I don't trust them. So although it may be your recommendation, I don't trust it. Because
Is there an alternative?
since Dr. Kelly left, you know, updates is very rare around here.
Is there a suggestion or?
So, one suggestion would be so you could, pick somebody else, with, the city, another member of city staff. If you felt like that it would be appropriate, to, have, if you'd like to have me involved in reviewing or providing any, being the person who communicates directly with the firm, I could do that. It would be highly unusual for city manager, city attorney not to be the point of contact. But legally, you could choose somebody else. I think that there are legal concerns with having a council member, but if you wanted to have somebody else, you could
So
do
Ms.
that.
Neuberger, if you was chosen as the point of contact, you would have to keep contact with our city manager and our attorney to keep them informed?
I would need to be, I would be providing certainly updates to them, communicating with them, but the more important piece that I think that I would need to, as a practical matter, get somebody from within the city's direction on, would be the questions of, do you want, the more the business type decisions that aren't like a legal question, is this, an appropriate motion to file or not? The question might be, do we want to do this, file this motion? Is this a good strategy, or do we want to go through another type of strategy, or do we want to incur the cost and expense of doing this type of discovery, or do we not want to incur that expense? So there's some day-to-day, run-of-the-mill litigation questions that come up. Certainly, regardless of who's the point of contact, there are certain things that would be within only the city council could do. So, this settlement authority, and I forgive me, I do not know if there's what the threshold amount is for settlement authority, but the decisions, big decisions would come to the council for approval regardless. This is more of the day-to-day needs of litigation, some of which can be urgent. Litigation is, a little bit unpredictable, so things come up sometimes and need a short turnaround from guidance from the client.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
Yes. Who is this?
My name is Sidney Calloway. I'm the managing partner of Schutz and Bowen in our Fort Lauderdale office. I've been on Zoom for a few minutes and have
Yes, sir.
raised my hand, but I just wanted to make sure that for the record, the council understands that I am online and available for any questions or comments that you may have for my firm with regard to the RFQ and our proposed contract.
Okay. Anything further? We had a half of a motion. Is there any completion to that?
Well, I have a question for Attorney Calloway. Attorney Calloway, you just heard what Ms. Nyberger's opinion was. What is your opinion in regards to the point of contact?
Yes.
Or do you want to reveal that?
No, I've heard the comments relative to the point of contact. My observation would be, obviously, there are Chapter 112 and Chapter 286 limitations on discussions between council members, and certainly any discussions that we would have during the course of the representation would be strategically designed to ensure that you are in compliance with Chapter 286 relative to open meetings and sunshine. That said, the way I view it, it could very well be that the city manager has certain responsibilities that we would have some day-to-day discussions if necessary with regard to the administration of a contract, and I'm sure the manager probably does that on occasion, even with regard to Ms. Niederberger's contract with the city. Those are administrative matters, and we certainly could have that. I actually do not necessarily believe that there is a real risk of non-compliance with the code if a council member were the point person. As I said, part of those discussions and part of the work that we would be doing would be to ensure that there's no violation of Chapter 286, and that is a role that I take very seriously with regard to how communications happen and to ensure that there's no ethical violations on the part of any council member or even myself or anyone else who you could think of potential scenarios where someone might be accused of being a conduit for the parties or things of that nature. But again, I don't believe that it is not sustainable for us to have a council member appointed as a point of contact and at the same time ensure that there's compliance with Chapter 286 and all the other codes relative to sunshine.
So you believe that a single commissioner has the authority to make decisions that would affect the whole board?
No, sir. That's not what I said. I said a point of contact is a point of contact for purposes of ensuring that there is a opportunity to speak to the folks who need to know relative to strategic discussions.
So not to make decisions, just as a point of contact to let people know.
Obviously, if there are material decisions, major decisions that have to be made with regard to the case, in my view, I don't disagree with Ms. Nieberger that those are matters that should come to the council at large. For example, a settlement opportunity or something along those lines. Those are major decisions, and yeah, but relative to some of the other decisions, that need not necessarily come before the entire council.
Okay. Anything else?
So the point of contact would not make a decision. Point of contact would just be somebody that would be reaching out to I'm sorry, it escaped my mind. A point of contact would just be somebody that you're basically reaching out to say, hey, look, this is what's going on. And then you, Mr. Calloway, would be the one to bring everything into the council.
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't want to overstate the need that the manager has a role in the administration of what I would guess any contract with the city, and that would also include the contract with Shetson Bowen.
Okay, if that's the case, then we'll go ahead and move forward, and I'll go ahead and make the motion to have Ms. Taylor be point of contact.
I second that.
Okay, is that motion to also approve the contract?
Yes, also to approve the contract.
You still wish to second, Ms. Taylor?
I still wish to second.
Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire,
I'll abstain since I've been named in the allegations.
Councilmember McCur,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard,
I abstain due to signing the Brickell building deed.
Mayor Anderson,
I'll abstain as I'm named in the allegations.
Ms. Nyberger? Is she still on?
Ms. Steinberger, are you still there?
Hi, you are, hello, you are cutting out. Just
Oh.
one moment.
I was just calling now, so now we have another abstention again, again. And so I was wondering what your suggestion is now.
So, so I have researched the issue, and I do have a concern about the fact that the charter provision language does it does two things. The exact language, I'll just read it for you. The first that it does is that it says that the majority of all members of the council constitutes a quorum, and then the second part says that it's the majority of the council members present is required to approve an act. I do have concerns that if we have 3 of the 5 council members abstaining, then for purposes of this decision, we do not have a sufficient number of council members left. Just having 2 would not be a quorum, again, defined as a majority of all the council members, which would be 3. So based on the research that I've done, where there's the majority of the council members are not still a quorum after subtracting the abstentions, then there's it doesn't satisfy the requirements of the charter. So I do not believe that we have the sufficient number of council members to approve based on that and the research that I've conducted.
So effectively, the motion dies. Motion failed.
Ms. Nyberger.
Mr. Mayor, I do have a point of question, a point of order on this. And again, subject to the council's discretion to hear me.
Please go. Please do.
I don't know if my esteemed council had the opportunity to review the question of the basis for the abstention by what I believe is the vice mayor, who I believe just indicated that his conflict was due to the fact that he signed a document, an agreement. And certainly, if we look under Chapter 112, Section 3143, relative to conflicts, and also under Chapter 286, the fact that the vice mayor appears to be concerned with a conflict of interest because he signed a document, unless there is an allegation in the Gilchrist report or in the public realm or on the part of the council member or something that is factually accurate to suggest that the vice mayor executed that document with the intention to either procure a economic benefit to himself or his family or a principal of a business, or to avert a loss to himself or his family or a business interest. Those are the conflicts that are identified under Chapter 286. And Ms. Niederberg, I believe you've got the statutes there that reflect that absent those kind of conflicts, a elected official who is at a meeting does not have the prerogative of abstaining unless a conflict exists that is, again, under the rubric of Section 112.313 and 112.311, or under the Section 112.3143. And so, again, the fact that the vice mayor is suggesting that the conflict is because he signed a document, I don't believe passes muster for purposes of the kind of economic harm where a person is accused of making a decision that places that person's private interests, private economic interests, over that of the public interest. That might be said of other council members. I don't think, and again, I've read the Gilchrist report, I've looked at the public meetings, and I haven't seen anywhere in any of the public meetings or with regard to the Gilchrist report or any other allegations by anyone in the public that suggest that the reason the mayor, the vice mayor executed those documents was to secure an economic benefit for his purpose or for the benefit of his family or for the benefit of a business principle. And so again, I suggest certainly that this is subject to, certainly should be the subject of a request for an opinion from the Florida Commission on Ethics. I also note again that the one thing that I've not seen is the written memorandum that is required from the vice mayor as a procedural protocol for purposes of declaring a conflict in which he can then abstain. I haven't seen that document, but just on the basis of what I've heard tonight from the vice mayor as well as in the previous meeting, does not seem to me to sustain a viable pathway for him to be allowed to abstain under Chapter 286.
Okay.
And again, I am suggesting that the Commission on Ethics should be consulted to take up this question if it hasn't. And again, Ms. Niederberg, excuse me if you've already done that, but that would be my suggestion if that's not been done.
That's certainly an option. I'm not sure if you were here for this part of the discussion, Mr. Callaway. Yeah, at the outset, I did go over what the grounds for abstaining are under the statute, and I agree with most of what you said with the qualification. That I'll just add that the ethics opinions do not require an actual conflict on one of those provisions. It's a good faith belief, and that one of those things exists. And so we did cover that. I just want to make you aware of that in case you weren't on. That being said, it's because it is something that involves good faith. Obviously, I cannot direct the vice mayor which action to take, but it has been discussed what the parameters are for abstaining.
And I'm not suggesting or seeking to undermine the vice mayor's good faith belief. What I am saying is the written memorandum that he's provided, I believe, to the city clerk, as well as his statements on the records, I believe are worthy of a ethics inquiry to the Florida Commission on Ethics, who can certainly take up this item. And they probably Ms. Niederberg know more than you and I, as they deal with these matters every day, but I would certainly recommend, if the council wants to move forward one way or the other on this matter, that either this question can be raised to the Florida Commission on Ethics on behalf of the council, or certainly on behalf of a particular council member, should they wish to do so.
All right.
And just to tag on to that, it could be both issues. It could be that the Commission on Ethics has jurisdiction to weigh in on by an opinion if you should choose to get one, the abstention issue and the question about the ability to vote and pass a matter if there are 3 council members that abstain. So both issues could be taken up in an opinion if you elect to have one requested from the commission.
Yeah.
Understood. All right, moving on. Item number 16.
I'm sorry, we moving on. What, are we gonna notify the Ethics Commission or what? I mean, they both
Item number
recommended.
15 was for an agreement. That motion failed.
They both recommended. It may have failed
No, they
today.
didn't. They didn't both recommend that.
Oh, they didn't both
No.
recommend that we probably need to contact the
They
Ethics
said,
Commission
they,
to
said
get
that,
a.
they said that they can.
They said that what?
The Commission on Ethics will consider literally anything that you send.
Okay,
to them.
watch this. Even if they both did,
Okay.
one of them did.
He has,
And I
he
think
has
me and Shelley
a significant financial gain at stake here.
I'm sorry?
Okay.
I'm sorry? I'm serious, Mayor. I missed it.
Yeah.
I missed it. Can you repeat it?
He has a little bit of a dog in the race here.
Who do?
The attorney that spoke in favor of it.
Oh, wow.
So you're trying to say that he's
Oh, wow.
giving an illegal opinion because he's got a financial gain in it?
And you don't get to make that decision.
I'm just simply pointing
You
it out.
don't get to make that
There's-
decision alone.
There's hundreds of thousands of dollars at stake here, if not 7 figures, so.
Really $1 million plus, but let's not.
Anyway, we've considered item number 15. So the proposal is to move on to the next item. Item number 16, we have the transfer from Saxon, Gilmore, and Caraway, PA, to Darrow Everett
We got a hand
LLP.
in the audience.
Is it about item number 16? We've already passed it, man. If you do it in the microphone. Just give your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, sir. Brenda Gray, 410 East Lakeview Drive, Avon Park, Florida. My question to the council is, I understand what the both attorneys are saying, and I understand your decision to move on, Mr. Mayor. But my question is that, are we, the citizens, ever gonna know what's really going on concerning Mr. Jim Bernard's willing to vote or not vote? Should there be a decision by this council to ask the Ethics Committee to give us an opinion? Because what I see right now, if any council member can abstain for either one of the 3 reasons or assumption of, the council will never get a positive vote. That's just my opinion. And I just want to know, are you all planning on doing that for the citizens of Avon Park?
Well, I'd like to remind you that literally every citizen in the state can call the state and ask them to look into anything they wish.
I understand that, but I'm saying the council.
Why would you need to involve the council?
Because
Any person can.
It involves a city council member that was
Every person sitting in that
elected by the citizens of Avon Park to do what's best for the city of Avon Park.
And every
It's just
person
a
that
question.
elected that person or didn't elect that person can ask that question of the Commission on Ethics.
So I'm assuming your answer to me is no, the council is not going to inquire the Ethics Committee to make a decision.
I don't think it's a good idea for this council to ask the Commission on Ethics to investigate this council.
That's what they're there for, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it's up to the private individual. Okay. I get it. All right. Item number 16, transfer from Saxon, Gilmore, and Caraway, PA to Darrow Everett LLP.
Yep. So, as stated in the letters that are in your packet, the firm of Saxon, Gilmore, and Caraway no, is not going to exist. The attorneys from that firm joined Darrow Everett LLP. It's a national firm, very large national firm. I was of counsel to the firm of Saxon, Gilmore, Caraway, and now I'm of counsel to Darrow Everett LLP. And so it's where you have an opportunity to say that you want to continue. I've got a new agreement that uses Darrow Everett and instead of Saxon Gilmore.
But the terms are the same, costs are the same, hours are the same.
Yeah, I think that just about everything, the costs are absolutely the same. I think the terms are the same. I think there may be a few changes that were not that significant, but they're not, certainly didn't affect your price.
Okay. Any questions?
It's still $225, which is a lot less than most people.
There will be no increase in costs.
I'm not increasing the cost. Mike, I do so in January, and I haven't done that so far.
So we have a motion.
So wait a minute, we renewed your contract, what, last year? Right?
2024.
Okay, so does this supersede the contract we signed last year and you start over from here?
2024. It would supersede that, and the fact that I'm of no longer counsel to Saxon, Gilmore, Caraway. I'm of counsel to Darrow Everett.
Okay, so your contract then will still expire in however many years, 2 years or 3, whatever we said.
No, it'll expire, I guess, when we change it, or when I'm terminated.
Any other questions? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept D16, the transfer from Saxon, Gilmore, and Caraway to Darrow Everett.
I'll second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Last call for questions. Seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire?
Yes.
Councilmember McClure?
No.
Councilmember Taylor?
No.
Deputy Mayor Bernard?
Yes.
Mayor Anderson?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, item number 17, we have the purchase of self-contained breathing apparatus, air packs for the fire department.
All right.
Chief?
Last item for me here. So this is a budgeted item, but I am requesting to move some money from 2 other accounts in that same infrastructure fund. We purchased the fan and the medical dummy. We have some money left over, so I'm trying to move that into this to purchase these air packs.
Okay, any questions? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion for D17, the purchase of self-contained breathing apparatus.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire?
Yes.
Councilmember McClure?
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard?
Yes.
Mayor Anderson?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Last but not least, city manager update.
All right, the entrance signs, so we did a RFP for entrance signs. This came back. We had a committee look at that, look at the proposals, everything that was submitted. We really feel strongly, so that will be coming back in the next council meeting that we have. It'll be coming in front of you. We had a real good meeting at the Airport Advisory Board. It wasn't well attended, but everybody, all the advisory board members were present, and it was really good input to this date. Jeremy Boggs is airport operations manager, and we've selected 2 individuals. One is in-house and one is in processing. The in-house employee will start tomorrow, was coming over from the streets department, Norris, Washington, I believe his last name. So he will be working Tuesday through Saturday, and the other individual will, if everything works out well, will be working Sunday through Thursday. So we're going to have a 7-day-a-week operation out at the airport, and everything's moving along smoothly. And thank you for everything.
You want to give an update as to all the air traffic that's been going around?
Yes,
that
it was
is?
on our website. So Pensacola, they were having some issues with cold weather and everything, so they're coming down and operating, and they have to get in their Navy, their flight time. So basically, they're not landing out at the airport. They're kind of doing touch and go, and they have observers making sure they have their landing gear down and they're flying off. It's just part of their operation. It's 6 days a week. And, you know, it's unfortunate, but they have to get it in. It'll be complete on February 27th. We also have Blue Air that's going to start taking part of that. And we may be able to benefit for some fuel sales from them, but not so much with the other because they never actually land here. But Blue Air will be taken off from Avon Park Executive Airport.
Understood. Anything else for the city manager report?
That's it.
Anything else for the good of the city?
Yeah, I have something, please. I believe last year the council discussed an item, I think we're all in agreement. We discussed having a handbook on ethics, on how council members should treat each other, as well as members of the citizens that come to the meetings, and especially concerning how certain council members treat city employees. That I think that we all discussed that we should have some type of a handbook, I believe. I believe we all were agreed. So I don't know whether HR or city manager is working on that, but I think we should move forward in that direction to have a handbook to go by to guide us to make sure that we all actually act ethically to all persons in this room at all times.
I remember the
Yeah,
discussion.
right.
I don't remember if there was a resolution as to who would come up with that, or if that's something that's readily available, or.
We can establish the rules of decorum. It's in our code, but we can get that in front of everybody. There's also some, it was for ethics training. We can get that established again. We do have the annual training has to be done, but we can enhance that.
Understood. Anything else for the good of the city? Seeing none, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, please.
Seeing no opposition, we are adjourned.
Thank you.